Finally, we go to the last video, reading the last remaining 5 things of pages of this game.
Torn pages of a story.
Torn pages of a story. Epilogue. The self-proclaimed king takes a small whistle from the leather satchel on his waist and blows into a sharp blade. A large dark shadow appears in the night sky, and a wyvern descends to the man's side. He says to the young girl watching, "Get on, if you wish. The choice is yours." Without hesitation, the girl approaches the wyvern. The man who says he is the king's vassal speaks to her. You are a daughter of a lord, are you not? You must surely want for nothing back at your home. Would you throw it all away on a flight of fancy with our king? The girl smiles and answers the king's vassal. If he could promise to show me something new, I would happily throw it all away. It may be foolish, but it is my foolishness. And surely one can find true freedom by abandoning themselves to their own whims. This seems to be a fantasy story based on a real person. The first half is missing, so it's hard to understand what's happening.
Why do I feel like that's from Sacred Sword, which was Lynn's story, right?
I don't know.
We have to go back and watch all the Fire Emblems.
Old letter addressed to the bishop. Not just my wife Claudia, who called the meeting, but all women of House Daphne seem to possess the same capable bravery and strong disposition to the renowned as hero. You, too, are no exception. Who could have imagined the Eastern Knights dissolving when Leicester is still so far from peace? Of course, many of the lords understand your thinking and went along with your decision. At the same time, you cannot ignore the seriousness concerns that many have. You proclaimed that you would abandon the sword, but it would be premature to abandon your shield as well. We write to you with a suggestion. Let the knights of our household become the Eastern Church's shield, in place of the dissolved Eastern Knights. If you would accept this arrangement, I believe you would avoid an awkward inquisition from the Archbishop, who has taken some issue with your way of thinking. Additionally, my wife, who considers you a sister, has been very concerned about you. For that reason as well, I hope you will consider my offer. Blessings of the goddess upon you. Hans von Nilsson.
Two more.
The Tome of the Comely Saints. The veracity of this fact cannot be determined. However, this text will not take into account. That lengthy preamble out of the way, what do people think of when they hear the term comely saint, if not Saint Michal? Countless songs and poems have been written about his immaculate good looks, among them the breeze upon the maiden's cheek, winds summoned by wings, rainbows dripping like glaze. Your beauty sets my heart ablaze. This song was composed by the Empire's first female poet. But we must not forget about St. Keyhole. Some claimed he had countless lovers, while others insist he had one true love throughout his life. We have very few records of saints being married. So when we consider that we know St. Keyhole did marry, and that his daughter was made a saint as well, I think the latter theory is likely to be the truth. But of course, at the Rhodos coast, as another example, though much said about him is likely fiction, we have Saint Luca and his many offspring. The man loved love and had great affection for the many children he brought into this world. However, appearances can be deceiving. Was he truly the comely saint? If we consider that perhaps he was simply using some sort of power to change his appearance, then a book about the saints. It contains many portraits and is well worn.
Two more.
Christological Mysteries. Chapter 13, Crest of the Beast, also known as Maurice's crest. According to legend, it was held by Maurice, one of the 11 clan leaders who followed Nemesis more than 1,000 years ago. Maurice was a fearsome warrior who was a young man, felled a giant wolf with just a sword. He was called a hero in his clan and soon defeated his father to take over as leader. We don't know exactly when Maurice received the crest. One theory is that it was after he swore to fight for Nemesis, who had just defeated him in single combat. Or could it be that the hero's relic, Blutengang, which he received from Nemesis, answered his subconscious call for aid when he came face to face with an evil presence? Either way, with the sword in hand, for the Imperial Army, Maurice and Blutengang became a beast calamity. His sword was made to end lives. Mounted and flying enemies made for particularly good targets. Maurice rampaged through the battlefield, killing many enemy generals and finally a holy warrior. Soaked in blood, he was said to be feared by enemy and ally alike. After the battle at Gronder Field, the war front moved north, and Maurice became increasingly unhinged. It is unclear what caused this. One day, after destroying an enemy camp, he simply disappeared. North of the battlefield lay a vast misty wood known as Enchanted Forest of Mercia. No soldiers sent in to search ever returned. The crest of the beast was inherited by the wild oats sown by Maurice and his sons. They lived in on the shadows in various clans and families, and in particular lords who bore a grudge towards the Empire. Whenever it became known that someone possessed this detestable crest, they would suddenly fall ill or meet their end in an untimely accident. Inevitably, the crest became an unspoken curse. Damn. Fears and frights of Foldland. Blood fruit. It is said that these blood-red fruits grow on old battlefields and other lands soaked with blood. The fruit is filled with layers upon layers of sweet seeds, and anyone who bites into it finds their hunger sated. That is, until they find they cannot live without it. An old Gronder legend. The Wandering Beast. In the Enchanted Forest of Mercia, on nights when the mist is thick, an otherworldly wailing can be heard. One must never enter the wood on nights like these. Anyone who does is never seen again, for in the mist lurks a bloodthirsty beast, an old Leicester legend. Ghosts beneath the earth. Frightful voices reverberate from below the ground. These are the lamentations of the dead, who cannot reach the goddess and must instead wander the land of the dead. They resent those who live under the sun, and at times will drag them down into the depths.
An old Fargus legend.
An old Fargus legend. Donna Sandstorm. They say that the north of this has sandstorms that prevent invaders. Merchants may navigate the edges of the desert undisturbed, but if someone steps into the desert seeking something, the scenery will change in an instant. Donna Sandstorm. It is said that in the moment, a gigantic sandstorm will rise up and tear them to pieces. An old legend from an unknown region. Fog Giant. If you go to the mountains at dawn, you may find yourself shrouded in fog. If that happens, you must crouch down and wait for the fog to clear. Whatever you do, do not flee, or the Fog Giant will trample you. An old Fargus legend. Death's Scythe. During the red wolf moon on nights when the moon is full, be sure your windows are shut tight when you sleep, for those are the nights when death will come with its giant scythe to harvest lives. And don't even think about going outside. In the morning, they'll find your corpse drained of blood. An old mock legend. The Red Demon. At the bottom of the peaceful-looking Whitehorn Sea, a red demon slumbers. When someone falls overboard from a boat, the demon pulls them down to drown them. To ward against it, use oil to... A collection of ghost stories from around Foldland.
And that was it. Those were all the books to ever be received in Fire Emblem Three Hopes. And now...
That's the end of the game.
Yeah.
It ain't me.
That's that. Wait, what's that? Might as well read this one real quick.
Book of Heroes 2. The creation, the beginning amid of the great cloudless sea, Folded came to be. At the end of the long journey, the goddess glimpsed that the land and there are lined. Upon the sacred ground, she breathed life into the world and created all the creatures upon it. By the goddess's hands, plants took root, birds took to the sky, and animals roamed the land. Last of all, she created humanity. When the humans wished for power, she granted it. She gifted them the blessings of the heavens and the earth. By way of the magical arts, humanity attained great power, yet unaware that great power portends great evil. By the grace of the goddess' divine protection, humanity thrived. Through her blessings, they grew prosperous, and their numbers rose. For long, they had become most powerful creatures in all of Folding. All was well until darkness descended from the north, a darkness that devoured the earth. Desecrated the heavens, and threw the world and its inhabitants into a state of chaos. To face this evil force, the goddess created a new well of power. She gifted certain chosen individuals with sacred blood, allowing them to wield mystical weapons that they may prevail against the darkness. These souls, buoyed by their divine gifts, conquered the evil ones and drove them back to the north. They came to be known as heroes. The heroes experienced unnaturally long lives, persisted for hundreds of years. Even after they breathed their last, the power coursing through their blood remained, leaving an indelible mark upon this world. This power passed through bloodlines, came to be known as the Cress. The mystical weapons they once wielded are now called heroes' relics. And so the legend of the New Age was born. The descendants of the heroes sought their ancestors' power, and thusly their blood. In time, they amassed Cress, relics, land, and wealth, using all to set the land aflame with war. The goddess's power, intended to stem the flow of evil, became a tool of destruction, all because of greed of humanity. The goddess, grieved and heartbroken, hid herself in the heavens from whence she came.
Alright, now that's all the books, I think.
I'm looking around now. Forever hold my fucking peace.
There's another one.
Dear Father and Mother, it's been 4 months since my last letter. The days show no sign of warming, but I hope you are keeping well. The instructors here are really putting us through paces, and His Highness is demanding training partner to say the least. Still, I'm managing to enjoy myself. I'm writing to let you know that I've been asked to join the Dusker trip planned for the Horsebow Moon. I know Father was rather concerned about the possibility last we met, but hardly trained enough, so the worst case scenario, I could become his human shield. When I joked about such a thing, His Highness said he didn't find that funny. Maybe in the break between discussions at Dusker 1 could get planned to return to the castle. Well, I want to see how far Felix with my own eyes. Tell him not to neglect for me, will you? If he ever hopes to best me, let alone His Highness, he'll have to start training by dragging boulders up a mountain. P.S. The other day I received a very nice dagger sent it to Galatea with a letter. If she ever comes to Fardalius, let her how much I miss. Glenn Gonvan Fardalius. Someone's letter home to their family. The writing is smeared in places, making it hard to read.
That was Glenn's letter.
Yeah, that was Felix's brother. That was fucking dark.
Now, let's just end it.
Alright. Thank you guys so much for watching this LP. Oh my god, that was long. Whew! I'm finally done with this game. I had a lot of fun with this game. This game took a long time, but it was worth it. I will see you guys with more LPs that I have, such as the other games I have listed down below, and a bunch of bonus content that I need to do and finish. I will see all of you later. Peace. Stay crispy, everybody. Bye. And thank you for watching these bonus videos. And thank you for watching Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Houses. Bye.